feel like maybe we want the same thing, but we're just confused on the language here. I don't.
We can talk about it. I got some questions, but separately. Is that it?
Yep. All right. Now these are new proposals. All right, so Article 15, the only change we're trying to make is in the second part of A when it relates to school psychologists. They currently work 220 days, right? So they're held for a month over the summer. We polled all of our school psychologists, and about half of them said that they would like to not work the full 220 days and work a 10-month contract, and about half of them said that they would like to work an 11-month contract. Not all of them. There was a good percentage who said that they had work to still do after 10 months, or over the summer for that extra month. But there were also a lot who said that it was minimal and they felt like they could have gotten it done in the 10 months had they needed it. It really just depended on the school and their caseload. So we are just trying to give them the opportunity to make the choice of whether they want the 220-day or the 196-day contract. And that's really it. And it would save the district money for those who decide to go on the 10-month contract. The next one. Oh my God, these single papers are killing me. I think I got it.
Both 17. Teacher insert. Do you think any of the work coming from the PLC committee would have any impact on some of the articles?
It's hard to say. I haven't gotten much feedback on what's going on.
I mean, if we're talking about time and service.
Yeah, and maybe this is something that we need to hold. You guys need to hold on your end, but until we hear back from them. But we figured you guys could at least start talking about some of it to get the ball rolling. So the only change we're making is in B, and it's really just to clarify language. We are not changing anything substantive. We agreed last year or last bargaining session, which was actually this school year, but that in-service activities would only happen twice a month, right? That could be staff PD, and then you have the district PD. But the staff PD, we talked about also being PLCs. And so we're just clarifying. I think there's lots of questions going back and forth between principals and teachers on what each Wednesday actually is. So again, if it's in-service or PLC, you have 2 Wednesdays a month. All of the other Wednesdays are for individual teacher planning. And that is how we interpreted our conversation last time we talked about this article.
need to read it.
Okay.
So why didn't have one Wednesday per month would be reserved for
That's-
individual teacher planning?
Because, Wayne, I'll just say too, I'm reading this to say that regardless of when in-service activities are scheduled, every other than the days those are scheduled, all other Wednesdays are for teacher planning, which does change it if I'm reading this. Whereas right now it's one Wednesday per month. This says really, assuming there's 4 Wednesdays on a month and there's 2 in-service activities scheduled that month on Wednesdays, then those other 2 Wednesdays would be for teacher planning, right? Whereas right now the contract just says 1.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little change. That's what I was trying to wrap my head around. But since Wayne threw the question out there, I'll add on to it too. Is that the intent is not just to say 1 Wednesday per month, but all Wednesdays except when in-service activities are held on early release days.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading that right?
Yeah.
Is that the intent? I say in-service, I include PLC too.
Mm-hmm. Right. So yeah, the PLC is not unencumbered individual planning, teacher planning. So we're including that in service activities, right? So if your PLC is going to meet, that counts as one of the in-service activities that's happening that month. Which most PLCs are happening during planning time anyways. It's just saving the Wednesdays for those other Wednesdays for specifically individual teacher planning. And again, and we're going to go into Article 6, which is working conditions, but planning time, individual planning time for teachers is, aside from compensation, is the second biggest thing that I hear across the board teachers needing more of. And it's a cost-effective way for you guys to make teachers happy and help teachers out. So that is,
You mind if I make a comment?
go ahead.
So the original language that we were talking about that just spoke about in-service activities talked about twice a month. Well, there's a lot of administrators that look at PLC as planning, and so they were scheduling the PLC, 2 in-services and a PLC, which I know last year is why we said the 1 unencumbered. And it's different at every school. So this was some way to try to still give some flexibility, but honor that PLC is not unencumbered planning for the teacher. It's planning and work that is designated by the school.
Well, that was somewhat going to be my comment because you agreed to that language last year. You put that in last year about the 5th. Are they 1 Wednesday per month for last semester?
Mm-hmm.
So I think part of that's why we formed the PLC committee, right?
Mhm.
To say what actually does it define it and what does it mean, right? So,
Right. Okay.
So I think we're close, but we need to be on the same page.
Right.
Okay. Are you in red, Morgan?
We are in red, yes. All right. So again, I would like to make my point that this is the second most complained about and requested thing in every survey that we've ever put out, and complaints that Kate gets on a regular basis. Planning time is what individual teacher planning time is what teachers need the most, and what we feel is lacking, and could, make working conditions even better. And it is a no-cost way for the district to help out their employees and make them a little bit happier. So A is really just including the school psychologist's workday in here. it's their same workday. We're just kind of spelling it out for people so that they can see what their workday includes, since they were also included in 15. F is the next change. So F says classroom visitations by anyone other than board employees shall be allowed only after consent has been granted by the building principal or their designee after consultation with the professional employee involved. We just added the piece of with at least 48 hours notice. I feel like teachers should know when other personnel are coming into their classroom, other than their principal at their school, and then that the employee can decline this. This is an extra burden that teachers feel when other people are coming into their classroom to observe. I know they're just trying to observe what the teacher does on a daily basis, but like it's stressful. It puts stress on the teacher. It makes them feel like, you know, they've got to dot their I's and cross their T's. And it's just one more thing to put on teachers' plates. So if they really don't feel comfortable with somebody else being in their room, they should be able to decline that. Also, it just says that consent has to be granted after consultation with a professional employee. So we just want employees to know that you can decline the visit in this consultation. Don't feel pressured by your principal. J is talking about parent conferences. So professional employees shall be given, we're saying there was no explanation of what notice meant. And so we think that 48 hours is an ample amount of time for teachers to know of parent conferences, and shall have the option of rescheduling such appointment if it interferes with the prior schedule during the professional employees. We just changed the word duty to contract time because people were a little confused as if it occurred during like their duty of like bus duty or whatever. And when really like this is talking about contract time. So we're just trying to clarify that for teachers. And then we crossed out in the event the parent conferences are scheduled before or after duty time, at least 24 hours notice will be given to the professional employee, and every attempt will be made to consider any specific needs of the professional employee, because this really shouldn't be occurring after contract hours. So that is that change. Sorry, I'm not following along with this one. K, again, talks about nothing in this agreement will be interpreted to prevent the board from utilizing its employees and activities relating to accreditation or minimum educational standards required by law, provided appropriate in-service points will be earned by the professional employees involved in these professional activities. And then we just are putting that these activities should occur within their contract hours. They should not be having to work without getting paid. In L, the administration will make equitable assignments of supervisory duties. We're just saying we're getting rid of make every effort to, because we feel like this should occur. In O, we are just getting rid of 3 because I don't think anyone is making long distance calls anymore. It was just a little outdated. We just changed the numbering. I don't think it got numbered correctly in the last time that we went through this. And again, the numbers in this note right before S are just matching the numbers up above. So that's what that is. U, this is where we're making the most changes. So planning periods are provided for the purpose of, last year we talked about instructional planning. Again, we want this clarified that it is uninterrupted, teacher-directed, student-free, individual instructional planning. I feel like principals are confused, teachers are confused about what their planning time actually means. It means that they are in their rooms planning lessons without interruptions. This time is reserved for the teacher to use at their professional discretion for work-related activities. In 1, we are just adding speech and language pathologists at all levels shall have planning periods. This is how they're currently, their day looks very similar to elementary teachers, so we felt like that fit best in 1 to add them in there. We are increasing 30 minutes to 40 minutes consecutive during the employee workday, because quite frankly, it's hard to get anything done in just 30 minutes. Teachers are having to walk their kids to resource, which is taking up part of that 30 minutes, and then trying to walk back to their classroom is cutting into that 30 minutes, and then they sit down and get started on something, and then they have to go and get their kids for resource again. So we just want to increase that time so they have a good amount of time, a block of time to sit down and work. Planning time shall occur during the student day. Again, we are fighting for this because teachers need time to plan while the students are on campus. And an additional, we're saying 150 minutes of planning time shall be established during the normal work week. Again, planning time is just something that people need more of. So I will say, and again, going back to the individual uninterrupted teacher-directed student planning, the reasoning for that is in our survey, 47% of people surveyed said that their planning time was interrupted at least once a week by meetings and other various activities. And this is not including their PLC. So the PLC is being taken up once a week, right? It's taking up their planning time once a week. And then they also have at least one planning period a week where they're being pulled for IEP meetings. They've got students in their classrooms, whatever it is. And I think hopefully you guys know that shouldn't be happening, but I don't think teachers realize that they should not have to attend an IEP meeting if it's during their planning, and they can tell them that they need to reschedule it during another time of the day. So we're just trying to increase, again, that planning time. Anything else that you want me to add for elementary? Okay. Middle school, obviously we can't increase our planning during the day, but our morning planning time could be more protected. We've got 43% of teachers say that at least one day or more a week, their morning planning time or after school planning time is taken by meetings. And then 26%, if you want to increase the amount of days that their planning time is being taken, 26% say that their planning in the morning or afternoon is taken 2 or more times a week. So this additional 100 minutes is not adding to their contract time. It's just saying that you have 100 minutes in the morning. So if you need to protect your Mondays and your Fridays, those are protected, and you obviously can parcel that out how you need to parcel it out, but just so teachers know, like, you can save 2 mornings a week or 2 afternoons a week, and you do not need to attend meetings during that time. We did the same for high school, which is 3. 4, alternative schools, what we are hearing is that they are not getting planning time during the school day, and they don't know how it would be possible in order for them to have planning time because of their unique student population. Michelle Dillon, our previous SJEA president, has tried to work with them, and they've all agreed that it is difficult to adhere to this and stay in the best interest of the students. And so our solution to this would be, if they cannot get this planning time during the school day, then maybe we provide them with a 7th period supplement, because that planning is still getting done. It's just now getting done outside of contract time. And so I would say that would be a solution to the problem. Numbers 5 and 6 are, again, what we hear time and time again is our varying exceptionalities teachers, our ESE teachers, are struggling to get all of their paperwork in the amount of time that they are given. And so we are proposing, and we know that support facilitation looks different at the elementary level than it looks at the middle school and high school. So that's why we have these kind of separated out. So support facilitators at the elementary level, as well as speech language pathologists, because again, we were told that their schedule kind of functions like the elementary school teachers in terms of planning. So they would get what they are in one, which is their normal planning time, right? But then to help them, because that planning time is being used to plan these small group lessons to help these small groups of students, right? But they also have to get all this paperwork done. So They have an additional 4 minutes per student per week to address caseload related paperwork needs such as session notes, progress reports, drafting IEPs, Medicaid billing. This could also include attendance at IEP or 504 meetings. The reason that we're doing 4 minutes per student per week is because everyone's caseload is different, right? Like some people have 60 IEPs that they're dealing with, and so they're going to need more planning time or more time to get that paperwork completed. And not only are the numbers of students per caseload different, but like the students in each caseload require a different amount of paperwork depending on their situation. So it just really, we needed kind of a flexibility there. And so we polled some ESE teachers and support facilitators, speech language pathologists, and they felt that 4 minutes per student per week would help with that amount of paperwork.
What's the typical caseload of a elementary?
30 to 40 is kind of the number we've been given. But again, and so we're going to get to this later in the article. Again, 30 to 40 on somebody's caseload could look completely different to somebody else's caseload because of the student needs, right? Like some kids require however much support and whatnot, and then some kids require much less. So it does really vary.
And SLP's typical caseload is 60 to 75.
Yeah, there you
So
go.
that's a little different than the support facilitators.
6, we feel that in the middle school and high school, in order for support facilitators to be able to get their paperwork done, I think what would best suit them, because they can't really be like, oh, I'm going to take planning time when I'm supposed to be, facilitating support during this particular period, is let's give them a TDE once per month to catch up on their paperwork and their caseloads. So that is our proposal for 5 and 6. Oh, and sorry, and class, if you are a classroom teacher that has ESE students, right? So in the elementary level, we're looking at like the IND kids and the IBD kids and those sorts of things, then you would also get a TDE to catch up on paperwork. Okay. Number 9 is not new language. It's just what we had in 10. We're just including it here because it does discuss teacher planning time. So we just felt like it belonged here as well. X. Again, we're getting rid of every effort will be made to give reasonable notice, and we're just saying that reasonable notice shall be given for projects or assignments that professional employees are expected to accomplish. 1 through 6 is MOU language on the class, the class coverage MOU. We're just including in the contract. We got rid of ZAA and BB because that relates to the MOU, so that language becomes irrelevant. You can see Z, we tried to include the remote planning days into the contract, so obviously you guys have that to counter with. And AA, again, we're talking about caseloads versus workloads. It's notoriously uneven throughout the district because of depending on what school you're at, depending on what kids you are assigned. And so for AA, we are proposing when assigning students to caseloads for ESE services, the following must be considered so that students continue to receive effective instruction and instructional personnel maintain reasonable workloads. So the type of intervention or services that the kid is being provided, the number of service minutes required, the student age, the grade and or specific needs, the impact of group sizes and group makeup, and the impact of overall planning, meeting, and documentation time. So all of those things we would hope would be considered when these are getting assigned to people and how many would be on their workload or caseload. BB is actually language that we took from Duval's contract. So here is, it says every effort shall be made at the beginning of the school year. So if it's a year-long course, or if it's a semester-long course, then it would be at the semester, to provide for an equitable distribution of regular education students on any grade level or specialized area in the elementary schools and by subject and level in the secondary schools with respect to class size, discipline history, and ability levels. While reasonable efforts should be made to maintain distribution levels as much as possible throughout the year, it is understood that mobility factors and the timely accessibility of student information will impact distribution equity. The school paperwork with input from classroom teachers shall have the authority and the responsibility to provide for the foregoing provisions. So the reason we're proposing this, right, it's essentially saying that we are taking into consideration how many kids you may have that need special accommodations, right? And might have special discipline history, right? That's going to impact your ability to maintain your classroom. An example of this would be there are 3 English 4 teachers at Tokoi Creek. I have 2 support facilitated classes, and I ended up with, I think, 6 kids with IEPs. The teacher next to me had 3 support facilitated classes and had 47 kids with IEPs. So guess how many more mornings she had to be in meetings than I did. And I don't know about the other teacher next door to me. I don't think she had as many as 47, but it was definitely more than the 6. So that just should have been leveled out somewhere, and it was not. And so when it is inequitable like this, and this is happening in other places as well, it's putting more workload on that particular teacher because of, the accommodations that she's also trying to provide along with the support facilitator, attending these ESE meetings, all of these sorts of things. And then CC is, this was in Duval's contract as well, right? Flagler's contract. Okay. So the profits that are received from vending machines that are located in faculty lounges shall be placed in a designated school fund, and the faculty may elect a committee to assist the school administration in administering the school fund. Should not be used for any purpose that would conflict with Florida state law. This is just the idea that like the faculty is putting money into this machine, that this money is going somewhere, right? Like the faculty should then have a say in the money that they are putting into having vending privileges at their school. So that's what we've got. That was a lot, I know. This is why we needed to get it to you before our PLC committee came up with their stuff, because there's a lot of small ones up here. So we didn't want to wait.
How long do you think?
I feel like we always say 30 minutes and then extend it. So you want to start with 45?
Come back at 7:30
Perfect. 7:30.
and see where we get midway through
Yeah.
there. So we'll come back at 7:30.
That's fine.
Got that?
Okay, yeah, you should go with that.
Standing's good.
All right.
Thank you. I'll leave these here. Just don't eat all. Save me one.
Can't make any promises.
Just here. I'll
I
an
will.
even
Okay,
allocation.
cut that one in half.
Just save me one.
Okay. Go say hi, thank you.
All right.
Look at it. Gosh, that would be nice too. What I do in the beginning of the year. Yep.
Did you see Morgan's foot?
No. Just during that last one or the whole time?
No, she's over.
Oh, I thought you meant like she was.
No.
Get out. No.
Okay, great job, guys. Great. I'll make it powerful because
That's what I need to, it's what I said. That's what I was saying. Yeah. Where everyone is.
Oh, all right.
We are self-contained, not a typical. We have 40. This is actually cool. So. I think it Oh, yeah. It's not like it's. Maybe theirs will be better in your class and yours will be better in my class.
Reasonable amount of assumption.
So, right? On Friday,
We're still going, but.
Dose.
Uno, dos. Gotcha.
Round out your dinner. And then, I'll have it come back out for anybody who's still here. Tammy. Oh, I No, because then we had audio problems and that's what. Yeah, for the business now? Sure. I don't need any. I can listen to both these. Bring me, okay. You want to read? Here it is. All right.
So I put it on the Facebook underneath. It looked wonderful, but my son didn't say he was totally wrong. And then I realized that thought okay, I'm on it. But I did call in yesterday. Yeah. I get in there, I said to her, she was my mom. And I went, okay, for mom. And she starts telling me about this whole thing. She talked to me about posting about this, why did you this makes us bad, and I said, she was inappropriate for you to do that. I said, I'm not saying it's to do it, but it's about as appropriate. On my conduct, to yell at me as a so, I'm saying I will find out, because that's what you also got with me, and I said, I did a wonderful job, thank you for what you did, right after that. And she goes, well, you understand me. Should you really know that? I said, yes, please. But he didn't, and then my manager was like, he should have came to me. And they go, well, first of all, did you have anything to do with breakfast? Why would I come to you? I said, so why would I come to you? Second of all, we should organize it. I asked her first, but second of all, I can find this out until 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. You're not gonna make a manager's payment. And I thought that's what we found, okay? So I'm saying, I know I did everything. But the point is, somebody that was there told my son and his friend, they were going to have to make it. At the pancake, looking forward to it. She's out. That's right. So I know. So. And we paid for it. And we paid for it. And she's. I do too. My contract hours in the manager's office where everyone's not going to ask me what's going on. As a parent, by the way. Yeah, I said, and they kind of looked at me and I said, no, this is it. Respectful. And I looked at my manager and said, this is not going to look that anyway, she don't want to have any reviews. Correct. As they look at me, I'm correct. Because otherwise, my son is coming off as a parent. I apologize for that. But this is something that could have been HR talk to us in that 2 hours. About what people on Facebook. Or you could send an email, what, give it to me. But I'm like. So it's not a problem for Coos, it's not a problem for. Yeah, and I said, so, you know, you shouldn't do it. I said, yes, and I'm not, I have a What else am I supposed to do? Well, look at the TV books. Here's my question. I don't like taking videos. I have a whole bunch of these parents. And they call me. But if you have further questions, send me an email. Oh, send me a text. Go down and say, oh, hey. If you approach my son about this, we're gonna have an issue. Because my son has general anxiety. And they just look at, they don't expect it. Yeah. So am I. And then I got attitude from her all the rest of the day, and then today, and I just like, again, we're gonna have an issue. I'll take her. Yeah.
This is true, right? Thanks, when they get older, well, thanks.
Go make some, maybe you can go get some ice cream. Yeah. Well, who's my sister? And two. And baby. We're gonna have this conversation.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yes, it just. I believe it was due a while ago.
And my manager kind of looked at me, so I'm sorry. I'm gonna be. I was 10 minutes off. Couldn't catch it up, and she just looked at me, she was shocked, and I'm like, yes. Respectfully, yes, because I know what you're gonna say. I lost 10 minutes, I lost 10 minutes. I'm not gonna not take my break, I'm not taking off my 10-minute break, 20-minute break. What do you want me to do? I'm not taking the option. I mean, I'm just kind of looking at her baby. And then I said, I found out the students that was told by how the adults, and I don't know who did that once we had to look at the videos. I don't know how long you keep it, but. And she goes, I have nothing to do that with that. I said, so why was I told you off? You know what? Okay, thank you.
Don't get dragged into it.
Nope.
Don't get dragged
No,
into it.
no, I didn't think I posted it, so then I thought I had to leave it. Oh, wow.
Here's what I would do. Type it in the, type it in a Word document, then leave it there for 24 hours.
I should have done that.
There's so many times that
Well, you want the other things too. I said, and I didn't enjoy it. They said, so many texted me. Or messaged me on Facebook, hey, what about it? I'm sorry, I don't understand. Or Amanda, or we should do it. Well, don't you know, but every woman that was really. I'm sorry.
Kelly. Oh, is she in her?
Is she teaching?
She may be teaching right now.
Kelly, are you teaching?
Is she teaching right now?
No, I'm watching plus video. If I gotta sit here and make a mom. Unfortunately, I'm not in video that.
Did you see NEA came out with the rankings today?
Came up with what?
The rankings on pay across the nation.
Yeah, Laura's 50th.
We are 50th. You know the only state that beats us?
Oh, tell me Mississippi.
West Virginia.
Yes.
50th. Actually, for support staff, we are higher than many that you would think of.
But I was in a sentence who was saying that support staff were getting more money this year.
No, we're not.
No, I'm sorry, I was watching. And somebody was talking, and they said, what's that? You're just transferring. Yeah. Where are you?
Well, federally, depending on their program.
Yes.
It's different from the program.
Oh, yeah. We don't really you did this pretty high. You only hear something that we have to be different. So if we documented anything, you gave us a sample for school to overwhelmingly. That's what cost us money. It was about $5 in a ratio. Always see that teaching you not. Yes, yes, but it is amazing, like, I didn't ask. The ruling party, this DOE headed, the ruling party was the chancellor of education. Oh, yeah. Go for it, go for it. You better. Yeah, they are. Blame us, but you should blame us. Yeah. And you knew the satanic, group was gonna bring in. There is. Jack, that's, we can have chaplains down there, he's coming in and doing sheet work and doing, guidance counselor work or therapy work, whatever you wanna call it. Chaplains, for any reason, except, don't say this, they commit. Only the federal government, they are recognized as a resolution. The Wiggins
Can't come in.
he said after saying, yeah, There's a separation of church and state that's already possible. I know that's too straight. I don't know.
All one grade goes to.
Well, there's so many different schools that each chaplain's can come in and mentor with their tradition. But each person is not equipped in their child who's suicidal or is questioning those experts.
I can't get it. She has a church and I have to, I was just, I was lecturer, I was a university lecturer, I was in choir, I went every Sunday. I can't, some people know these. I'm like,
You have to show them.
like it shouldn't, but I just see these.
Because I'm still a lecturer, the first thing I started. But anyways, I was just like. And. And you can start a conversation in some class. Then I actually have to church with him, we have 29-year-old still on both sides. He literally, David's got my hand on this, I wish I was holding for my husband, and he puts me on my thigh. And he just presses down, and now, I am already a mile from you, right? I'm a Christian minister, that's what I do. He can't take, like, he literally said, we shouldn't allow children to disfigure their bodies. Whoa! I'm sorry. Transgender, you're gonna have surgical, things done. That's up to you, the parents, and the child. That's up to you. I'm not transgender, but I am. You should not do that as a.
Okay, so that's your thing.
Yeah.
That's good. That is good. That is Randy and
Approve job. Have you read file dysfunctional? If you know that. So, at that point, that he knew, he's getting right away, and like. Here, all the statues were lit, or the windows were all lit up, because the sun was coming in, which. So David's just, he's pressing down. Because I walked out the last time, I'm scared. The last time he opened it, he has two figured out get to David Bush. And he, I'm thinking, one last. You texted me, didn't you? I was like, I really got there. Yeah, regarding. There's 4 zeros in it, and she was like, oh, yes, he was, and. And yes, if you guys would like something to drink for my time, come over and have something. Oh, yeah. Oh, I got one. They project.
And you got, we got like design from Sarasota School. I think at that point, the ethics investigation would be reviewed.
Well, it's okay.
Right.
They.
Based on what folder, that's our big question, that's the idea, we want to do that, but it's also a question, and we'll go over.
But yes, I understand what you're doing.
What the whole thing about, as teachers, they have.
It's okay for me to take my work down. It's okay to take my work down.
But I can't go about when,
And
I go to school. But I go, you guys know that, and I'm like, okay, sorry. Decision, and then I walk out, and I feel like, well,
especially the one that yelling at me that don't even matter.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, in your voice. He said, or you're also respectful that email them and say, why do I have to do this? I know it's coming from bargaining, or come to the school. Because they're even. Well, I don't have
No, you have freedom of speech.
Huh?
I mean, I was the one there when they had last year here at Washington, it was down.
Or this,
So the next meeting, I went to better because there's a bit of complications. And so I said, what, I was whereas, district says.
Oh, you were at the meeting.
Yeah, so I just, and I had to put whereas the district they would be responsible. But they have hired a position to actually hire. And you could see the chamber on the stage.
So the current position was they were just.
That's fun.
You're a policy.
You're a big person. I asked her.
well, it was about the same time. So it was all about the same time. But.
So when I live in Wisconsin, I have one of their course of records. Or they started shutting down. In our district, us, the general manager, and we talk town hall meeting, and he goes, so what's going on is. He's taking the work. He's not doing his work already. We will not ask them to show what I'm going to do. And then, we are going, people that are about to retire or close to retiring, like we're gonna retire. Maybe people retire, whatever. We're just gonna, if we're close to it, we're gonna try to cut it on the back. As soon as everything's on, or, if we figure it out, go to the, that's where, that would be happen.
But the second one,
Well, you could have, you could have, I said,
but to give them a sheet, I mean, all of that. When you sign the paperwork with the attorney or your sister. Power of attorney. Then we put it in. But hey, shark. Okay, shark. And then she goes, hey, shark. What? So yeah, because we have free lunches, doctor. You're sitting on your Not according to the government. How do you do Good for your heart.
No, I think you did. Sorry. Which is why just what she's the president of St. John's County. St. John's Education Board. And I got are you really? Oh, no. But she's coming down to they thought I might do Just pretend we didn't see anything happen. Oh, even better. I didn't even know. Well, well, now we can. And you're like, fire. Oh my gosh. They, I think it's so much so far now, but everyone is are about SJEA, not about everybody else that's very all of them are 77% in favor, yeah, are the and was okay. That's all. Very good. Nobody was running against everyone, right?
9 voted no. And the rest of them was very small. Very small. But, So they had until Friday, and then the said, "Look that way." And now it's perfect. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, but part of that, and really how Now, trying to get it all seen, You will not even think for it. You break it. Thank you. I've gotten so many compliments on this. Stay out of trouble. No guarantees expressed. My husband, I did this.
Or you try something that doesn't hurt.
It hurts now, yes. Do you want any, I mean,
I'm good for now.
I'll be extra.
You've got like 5 minutes. We said 8.
I'm gonna try not to drink that. So I'll put a gin Don't sweat. That's fine. Anybody else want to drink or I can close this up? No. Do you want water? You know what, if I put my glasses on my face, it's amazing how much better I see. And instead I go like this.
I guess I should have typed this as a counter proposal, and I did not.
Sadly.
This brief is not very brief again.
I would not expect this one to be brief because we passed 6 articles.
Right.
I mean, some of them were just counters, but. What is the date for the January?
Oh, I just heard that. All right. What do we do with that?
No,
I did not find that at all while I was talking. More than Mary Tyler. I thought more than you.
But yeah, she's made it through, so that's good. Oh,
Yeah.
transfers and resets, are we not
Article
countering on that one? Wait a minute.
ZB, the equal distribution of students in regular activities. I'm so glad you put that in there. That was a major reason why Mitch quit teaching for 29 years.
Oh, really?
Being a teacher.
That wasn't me, that was Sally and them, but
So
yeah.
you need someone to talk to
Another
that.
talking point, yeah. Okay.
You can throw it my way. I'll do my best not to get emotional because it was
I know.
a dream career ever since he was a child. I'll like to, you know,
Yes. Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
rub that one in a little bit.
It was.
This is our proposal. Did I just title it incorrectly in my computer? Okay. On MOUs, I don't remember. Where is it? Do I need to put counter at the top?
Are you counting?
Writing change.
Oh, just put it in red. I mean, you could put counter, it probably should.
Is it
Yeah,
better?
you might as well. Oh, we need that one that already gave me 3.
We're not doing that one.
Oh, we're not. That's right. I knew that. I knew that.
Proposal, okay. What is the date for the January one? Can somebody look that up for me? God damn it, I did it on this one and not.
It's January 4th, but that's probably not January 4th again, though.
No, I need this year's. Sally, do you know the date of next year's planning day for January?
Yeah, hang on.
Yeah.
So their adaptation.
2 places to look for it. Hang on.
Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win?
Me. All right, done. Oh, nope, that's this school year. All right, got it. What do you need? January. Oh, she's got it.
Sally won.
Teacher in teacher planning, January 3rd, 2025. The teacher planning, do they have October 14th
Yep, and March 14th.
and March 14th? Correct. Yeah, the January one makes no sense.
And so.
These grades are always due every single, that's the whole time, the planning day, that's part of in the contract direction to the calendar committee, that the planning day must coincide with when grades are due. So dumb. But whatever.
They also titled it as a counter proposal when it was
Darn it. I got stuck in it.
But you can still fix it.
So I could probably
Yeah,
just
if you
open
get
that one up.
flyers.
Yeah,
Action.
maybe not. It's all
Around.
right. How many days do we have left? Because my thing got stuck here, so
Well, no, I
the
know,
width
but there's
was
not
under.
even a.
It didn't open up. I wonder if the one that opened up. Good luck trying to find that.
I
have one at home or from someone. I have 5 on my desk. There's only how many days left?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've not gotten anything this year. Yep. Synchronized Trumpo's parent conference. I told you that, right? I had a new student come in January, and her father worked for Trump. Like, he got called, they had to cancel a parent conference because he got called to an emergency meeting at Mar-a-Lago to try to raise the bond. That's how inner circle he was. And I'm thinking, a conference him with all my book stuff, like all the books that are banned, all these other places, I put them in my newsletter, I read them out loud. Nobody changes ever. It's the stupidest thing ever. So the fact that teachers get all excited, it's like, just do it. Just do it. Because guess what? It's not going to happen.
And make that so great that.
You know, I have some kids in my room for Toro time, just like a study hall, and they're not mine. They were just friends with my students, and they were like, "Oh, I really like your bookshelves. So I like organize my books by color, and then there's, I like decorated, so like succulents and like whatever else." And they were like, "It's really good, isn't it?" I was like, "Yep, you're gonna find lots of other grand books on there." They were like, so I think we just have this and 11, and then these are ready to see it.
Take one step. Oh, yeah, you got those here. They're teachers. Yeah.
Well, let me show you.
Where is?
those are, COVID kind of stopped that.
Should I leave it?
I mean, we
in
do positions.
there? I have notes on the MOU.
Nice.
Try and write that. Otherwise, he'll love that.
Where did I have it?
That one's good too.
That's how you write it right on.
Oh, I
I
like
wrote it
how it
right on
doesn't
the
lose its
MOU,
ink from the
but-
side.
Oh, wait,
That's
okay.
an important feature, because this one,
Yeah.
all right, I'll have to come up with a better one.
Okay.
I'll bring my sample ones.
You went to mine. Landlord.
You need a pen? Yeah, here, take that one. 1 second, need a pen.
I'm going to the room.
Need a pen?
Nope. You what? No, you're good. I got one.
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah.
Give her a try.
Oh, no, I
Give her a
know this
spin.
one. Oh, I
That
know.
you enjoy that.
That one is like, that's a gift.
That's a.
The jacket on
I
them.
just like that it's.
Yeah, no, it's so smooth. I know.
It matters. I
Except
mean,
when you give
I know,
that.
none of them are my age though.
this one does do a lot of that.
Yeah.
They're not going through that.
It's a little too thin,
Please,
but
I don't ask very much.
that's my favorite backup. Okay. So do you want to start with any responses you have to our counter proposals? Or do you want us to start with our responses to yours?
You guys can start.
Okay. Yep. You want to start with 7? So we have 5 copies of number 7.
Okay.
We give them all to you,
Okay.
and then we'll put them up there. Get to mine. Please correct me. Because on one of these, Wayne, I got a mangled mess of notes. One moment. Okay. I think on 7, the only change that was up for discussion on page 1, fine with adding the statutory site.
Okay.
Where we are on page, what's B3, our proposal was to just go back to the current contract language specifying letter of reprimand or final letter of reprimand. And the normally going back in, and the explanation for the normally that wanted to give a little background is there have been times though, while it says normally will be given no less than 24 hours written notice, where employees have wanted the meeting to be held quicker than that. And so we can understand and appreciate the expectation that management would give that 24 hours notice. We don't want to be too rigid to where, for instance, if it's the last day before spring break or a winter break where an employee says, I don't mind doing it today, I don't need 24 hours notice. We felt the word normally gives a little bit of that flexibility in it. It's not intended to be there to have a surprise attack and give no notice. And we discussed taking it out, but felt it was too rigid and wouldn't allow for it to be held in less time if required. So that was our,
So you guys agreed to us striking out normally last time. You're putting it back in.
is that from the last version?
Yeah.
Hold on. Go to my session 3.